Greetings, beloveds. It's TAI Set, the Piscean Empress. I'm glad to be back with you all. I'm going to do a little fact checking for the video Billy Carson made asking, did the elites suppress anti-gravity technology? This video is for educational purposes. I placed the receipts in the comments. That way you can click on the link to each topic and do the research for yourself. Yeah, that's what it's about. You know, the great thing about Billy Carson is that he really wants us to spread the knowledge that we learn from him, and we can only do that by seeing the truth ourselves. That way we can repeat this truth to others with confidence. So I will continue to do some research and update the comments as well. There is a rainstorm outside, and I think Billy had a little issues with his video as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Apologize for any lagging. Let's go.
This must be stopped. Now, let's see what's happening, guys. We're live. I did a complete reset and a reboot. Let me know if we have see that information anywhere. All right. So just, just kind of give you guys a straight up, this is what I know. I can only give you what I know and what I can come up with the receipts for based on what's been left behind by ancestors and so forth, and texts and tablets and everything else. All right. Let's see here. Will a tour in Egypt use vibrations or other instruments in pyramid rooms, sacred spaces to experience response? We will do a special meditation, a special Om meditation for a couple of hours inside the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid in the middle of the night when everyone's gone. We will get everyone off the plateau. Everyone has to leave the Giza Plateau except for us. And we'll have a very special time inside the Great Pyramid doing different types of chants and Oms. So we will have that opportunity. We won't be bringing any instruments at all. I won't be bringing any instruments in there. All right. Anyway, let me get to it, guys. All right. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you for being patient with me in the beginning of this video, making sure that everything is running properly and that the lagging situation is taken care of. All right. So anti-gravity. Who are the elites that are hindering us from accessing this incredible technology that we should all be privy to? The elites are the people that are at the very, very top of the pyramid. And what pyramid is that? It's the economic pyramid. At the top of the economic, there's many, many pyramids, and each pyramid represents a matrix, right? Each pyramid represents a different type of matrix, and there's many matrices that exist within this realm right here, even on this earth. One of them is the economic pyramid. And in the economic pyramid, there are people at the very, 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 very top. Some people will like to say it's the Illuminati, or it's the Skull and Crossbones, or it's the Council for Foreign Relations. It's all of those top elite programs that have very special memberships that an extremely small group of people are a part of. And those people represent only about 100 families on this planet. 100. 100 families control 8 billion people. 100 families. Where did all of these secret societies come from? And these Council for Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group, and all this, all secret societies. It's invitation only. Well, it originates from the ancient mystery schools. The mystery schools were about teaching love, light, ascension, wisdom, and knowledge, and advanced mathematics, and also advanced neurosciences. back in ancient times. When the mystery schools first started, you had to be what they called an adept initiate, a hand-picked person that they saw something special in to be brought in to that inner circle, that inner sanctum to get that knowledge. Over time, as the people that founded these, one of them being Thoth, the Atlantean priest king, who ruled over the land of ancient Kemet for 16,000 years, according to the ancient Egyptians, when he left almanacs that he took from Africa, the schools began to slowly degrade. The knowledge began to slowly turn dark. And over thousands of years, it turned into branches that broke off. And each branch became their own secret society. The people discovered something very interesting about the knowledge from the mystery schools. They discovered that the force is real and the force exists, but you can use the force for good, and you can also use the force for evil. You see? And there's a lot of people doing that right now today. A lot of these fake YouTuber accounts that are out here just trying to utilize and create controversy for likes, controversy for views. They're trying to alchemically convert angst, anger, hatred into money. Well, these guys started to discover that we can use this information to manipulate people, just like some of these Instagrammer and YouTuber people do. You can utilize it to manipulate their minds, and that can alchemically convert into our own profiteering. And so these small groups of people decided to keep the knowledge very close and very inside. That's why they call it secret society. And they began to pass it on from generation to generation. And the wealth that they were able to amass by collectively taking the knowledge and utilizing it to twist people's minds from a high vibrational state to a low vibrational state. See, they discovered something. You can make a lot of money with people in a high vibrational state, but you can also make a lot of money with people in a low vibrational state. In a high vibrational state, it requires a little more work, a little more forward thinking, a little more effort in certain areas. And it requires you yourself to be held accountable for your own thoughts and decisions that you make. But when you flip the coin and you use the force for darkness, it becomes really easy then. You don't have to pretend to be someone else. A person can be who they truly are, dark and evil, fake controversy for views and likes. It's the same thing, just on a much smaller scale. It's a much smaller scale. Same thing. Nothing's different about it. Not one thing is different about it. They say, you know what? We can utilize it for darkness. We can put fear into people. We can put anger into people. We can put anxiety into people. Through what? Through their media houses. Because we know that those people at the very top of the pyramid control all the media. So they pump fear, frequency to a low frequency. And now that they got you in a low frequency, you're so easy to manipulate. Human beings are so weak when they're in fear mode, so weak and fragile. They can manipulate you to kill your own mother, your own brother, your own sister, your own best friend. And it's been done for thousands of years. They'll make you kill somebody in the name of God. They'll put a military outfit on you and put a badge on your chest and put a helmet on your head and tell you those people are a threat to us. Now you're afraid. Go kill them, and you'll go and do it. It's called the military. They're manipulating you at every turn. Then they'll pump fear on the news. It's always they're coming to get you. They're coming to attack you. They're coming to infect. It's going to do this to you. This president's going to do that to you. This politician's going to do this to you. This politician's going to do that to you. The finance system is collapsing. The finance system is collapsing. We're going into another depression. Everything is falling apart. There was 20,000 shootings today in this one city, and everybody's going, this is what they do. And now your frequency is low. And in that low frequency state, they manipulate you. They distract you. They insert divide and conquer tactics on you and make you hate your own brother. They make you hate you. It's your own self. You begin to doubt who the hell you really are. You don't even know who you are. And now they got you right where they want you, with their boot on your neck, and you become a robot in the matrix, and you'll do anything they tell you to do. And when they tell you to do it. And in your mind, the programming code is telling you, good job. You did great. Meanwhile, you just became a soldier for the matrix gods. And you didn't even know it. Human beings on this planet are the prisoners and the prison guards. We're both one and the same. We are the prisoners and the prison guards. As soon as one person steps out of the mainstream line system that he's been programmed for us to be in and starts thinking any differently than we feel we were programmed to think, starts trying to attempt something outside of the norm, what happens? Agent Smith from the Matrix shows up in the body. And then you try to stop them. Because you're a code, you're a program code. It's called the Agent Smith effect. And this is the same technique they use to suppress technologies from us. They've been hiding technologies like crazy, suppressing them. There's no way you could tell me in the 21st century on planet Earth, with the amount of geniuses that we have walking around, that we're still driving around in combustion engines and launching rockets and satellites into space using chemical propellants, basically controlled explosions to get into space. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Come on, man. We're using controlled explosions to get into space. We're using combustion engines in the 21st century. I got to get on a plane in Miami and fly for 38 hours just to get to Cambodia. I did that when I took people on tour in November. I took people on tour to Cambodia to go see Angkor Wat and all the ancient sites. 38 hours it took me to get there. Why is it taking me 38 hours of my life to go from point A to point B on this planet? When we had the supersonic from New York to London in less than 3 hours. And now it's the 21st century and we've gone backwards from that. An hour? Are you kidding me? It's by design. All of this is by design. Okay? It's by design. You see, they got the combustion engine. They made it last as long as they could possibly. We're on the cusp edge now of having to get out of combustion engines. Well, at least oil. Oil-powered combustion. They tried to put the EV game in. They realized big flip-flop fail. Huge fail. Huge fail. Now everybody's trying to give away the EVs. My representative at Mercedes-Benz said we can't give away these EVs. We dropped them 20,000 below MSRP and we still can't sell the doggone cars. Mercedes-Benz Fort Lauderdale, call them up and ask them. They're giving them away. They can't get rid of the things. Nobody will take them. You almost got to pay somebody to take. One of them damn things. Cadillac has one coming out. The manager of the store broke down in it on the first trial of the car. It wouldn't even charge back up. I had to call a flatbed company. Then you got all the frozen Teslas, lines backed up for 2 and 3 days trying to get a charge. That's a flip-flop fail. It ain't going nowhere. Now we're going to go to hydrogen engines. That'll be a lot better. But still, we're using engines that run on crankshafts and utilizing combustion, creating micro explosions to get a crank to move to create propulsion. Whew, come on. We got to do better than this. And we have, but it's been suppressed. We have done better than this. It's all been suppressed. And the biggest tool for humanity that has been suppressed is anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is the biggest tool. Let me open up this email here. Let me go and open up this email and go through some of these patents real quick. All right. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to be looking up now because I'll be reading directly from the patent office. All right. And so right now I'm reading patent F03H99/00. Propulsion system using anti-gravity force of the vacuum and applications. Here's the abstract. A propulsion system for aerial, terrestrial, underwater, or space propulsion. Achieved through the manipulation of the vacuum, which is the atmosphere, okay, in space. Manipulation of the vacuum with the proper electromagnetic interaction. So they're using electromagnetic fields to interact with the vacuum to create a certain type of repulsion or anti-gravity. Now, this can be used, like I said before, anywhere, even underwater. This is amazing. It has the applications in energy production on the change of time decay of radioactive elements. Opposing magnetic or electric fields create a mass repelling force, while attracting magnetic or electric fields create a mass attracting force. In particular, this vacuum manipulation process can be used to propel a mass that contains the field sources that perturb the vacuum. One possible application is the creation of a repulsion point in space through the interference of two or more longitudinal electrodynamic wave beams, which cause a repulsion force on the mass. So they're talking about several different ways of utilizing this one technology, this one invention that will allow for movement in any direction, in any medium meaning underwater, in the atmosphere, or in space. This is a real patent. US 201-200-92107A1, United States. Now let me scroll down and see what happened here. The present invention relates to a new form of aerial, terrestrial, underwater, or space propulsion achieved through the manipulation of engineering of the vacuum with the proper electromagnetic interactions. This vacuum manipulation will allow the use of a new form of propulsion and its applications in energy production on the change of time decay of radioactive elements. Gravitational force, nuclear strong force, and the nuclear weak force. This device manipulates those. When I go and read through all the pages and pages and pages, extensive information about this device, I get to the patent citation section, and I find out that Lockheed Martin, U.S. Patent 592-97328, apparatus and method for applying a magnetic beam. They've got part of this apparatus that they're utilizing inside of this device. Not from this patent, not from this inventor, but their own version of something similar that has some of the similar uses. Their patent was cleared, even though the one I was reading to you wasn't. Lockheed Martin has contracts with the Pentagon and the government. Okay. Boris Volson, US 6960975B1, another big company. Space vehicle propelled by the pressure of inflammatory vacuum state. So what this is doing is they're actually shrinking space in the front and expanding it from the back. We're talking about a warp drive type of technology. Another one that gets government contracts. And the more I look down, the more I go, the more I find, wow, there's a lot of patents out there with similar abilities and that were approved, but they're all major corporations. And then I go down to the bottom to find out what happened to this patent that I was reading about underneath the citations. And it says, abandoned, failure to respond to an office action. This I see often. This patent was abandoned. Nobody gets as far as they got with this patent and then just abandons it. It's been suppressed. Maybe it was abandoned because he's no longer with us. Maybe he took a trip somewhere with either on his own free will or maybe against his own free will. All right, that's one. Check this one out. US 101-44532B2. A craft using an inertial mass reduction device. A craft using an inertial mass reduction device comprises of an inner resonant cavity wall, an outer resonant cavity, and microwave emitters. The electrically charged outer resonant cavity wall and the electrically insulated inner resonant cavity wall from the resonant cavity, the microwave emitters create a high-frequency electromagnetic wave throughout the resonant cavity, causing the resonant cavity to vibrate in an accelerated mode and create a localized, polarized vacuum outside the outer resonant cavity wall. So they're using frequencies and vibrations to create anti-gravity, okay? Frequencies and vibrations to create anti-gravity. Now, we know that in a laboratory setting, this has been done before, all right? And I'm going to show you a quick clip of it, if I can find this quick clip of levitating of stones. Some of you may have seen this floating around on the internet for a while. It's real. It's an actual real So we're talking about levitating using anti-gravity. Levitating, using frequencies and vibrations. So stones were actually levitating, and they were levitating using cymatic frequencies, okay? Sound and frequency, vibrations can create anti-gravity. And the actual video that you just saw is using that technique. The patent that I was reading about just now also uses the same exact technique, okay? And by the way, anyone who's in real time with this watching me live right now, let me know if my voice is syncing up or if I'm getting any lag time. Let me know in the live chat real quick, just before I continue to proceed reading about this this patent that I'm reading on right now. Just let me know if my voice is synced with my words real quick. All right. Okay, thank you. Let me try to do a okay, should be working good now. All right. I just did a reset. And let me know if this is good. Okay, we're good now. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. All right. So now let me go back to this patent that I was reading up here. Now, this patent is pretty interesting because it's talking about utilizing the same technique that you just saw with those levitating stones. All right. And now the government maybe or thereafter. Let me read that to you again. Statement of government interest. The invention described herein may be manufactured and used by or for the government of the United States of America for governmental purposes without payment of any royalties thereon or therefore. So they're talking about, we like this guy's invention. We love what it can do. We know it works. So we're going to eminent domain it and we're going to keep it. And we're not even going to pay for it. We're not even going to pay for it. Forget the royalties. Forget paying this guy off. We'll just take it. We'll just keep it. It's ours now. You see? You see what's happening? Do you see what's happening, man? They're playing with us. Like they're really playing with us. So if you have an idea for any type of incredible technological advancement for humanity, you can make money without patenting it. Please, inventors, do not patent technology that can shift and change the world. I'm not talking about, you may come up with a widget. Look at it. This is great. It holds a cell phone. It's got a base. Great invention. Patent it, please. Make some money. But if you come up with anti-gravity or something else that's, incredibly huge in terms of its impact on humanity, don't patent it. because they will take it and they will not pay you for it. And they may take it and you may never see the light of day again. They put you in a black site prison, or they might suicide you by accident on purpose. What we're doing at my tech company, First Class Space, is we're working on research and development, and we're doing everything open source. So you say, well, if I don't patent it, how am I going to make money? You open source it. Yes, you can make money in open source. Elon Musk, give you a good example. Elon Musk did not patent his battery. He did not patent the battery that he put in the cars. Because why? Because if he would have patented the battery, he would not have been able to create a market, an EV market. And without an EV market, there's no competitors. And without no competitors, there's no market, there's no infrastructure. Coming, even though it still didn't pan out right. The infrastructure is lacking severely, but at least he got it off the ground and made billions of dollars, trillions even, right? So he made his battery open source so that anybody in the world can take the blueprint and create their own battery. And then they made their own cars. That's how all these EVs popped up, because he open sourced the technology and created an entire industry from zero. So we're open sourcing. As we develop new technologies and come up with new concepts and ideas for R&D, we're going to have a private forum that we're setting up. We had started this a while back, right before the global sickness came, but then we had to slow it, shut it down because we lost our engineer and our quantum physicist due to the global sickness. They were from other countries, and of course, nobody was going to be able to leave and stay here during the height of that situation. Now everything's calmed back down again. We're going to restarting. But we're going to have an open source forum for engineers, scientists, physicists, quantum physicists, right? And we're going to be able to actually share and exchange knowledge in the forum to help bring technologies to the world. That's how you do it. You open source it. Open source means, listen, it ain't patented. You can't come suicide me because everybody has a copy of it now. You're going to suicide everybody? You see? You open source it. And that's the way you develop these technologies for mankind. Every one of these inventors that comes up with all these incredible technologies like zero-point energy devices and anti-gravity devices, they never see the light of day. They never see the light of day. Let me read this article to you real quick. Check this out so you can see I'm not exaggerating. This is nature.com. I'm on nature.com. Anti-gravity crafts slips past patent officers. Oops, one got through, guys. We got to clean this up really quick. Impossible device gets seal of approval. The U.S. Patent Office has granted a patent on a design for an anti-gravity device, breaking its own resolution to reject inventions that clearly defy the laws of physics. This is not the first of such patents to be granted, but it shows that the patent examiners are being duped by false science. So now they're trying to make the patent inventors look like they're crazy psychos. Watchdog of junk science and American Physical Society in Washington, D.C. Guy's name is Robert Park. He tracks U.S. patents on impossible inventions. The patent office is in deep trouble, he says. They're in deep trouble because this was an impossible thing to approve. You can't approve this anti-gravity device. It's impossible. That's what this guy says, Robert Park. The patent office is in trouble. The people who accidentally let it slip through, No, they got in big trouble. They lost their jobs. They might have even lost their pension, their government pension, because they didn't follow the protocol. See? Stop sending yourself to the patent office. Stop it. If you have an invention that's going to change humanity, zero-point energy, perpetual motion device that is able to break the second law of thermodynamics, anti-gravity, don't patent it. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your absolute time. Now, what does get approved? The scientists that work for the government. So if you are a scientist working for a government agency, and then you come up with an invention, they miraculously all get approved. Here goes the U.S. Navy patent for anti-gravity. Oh, the U.S. Navy, they got their anti-gravity to go right on through with no problem. The U.S. Navy has patented anti-gravity. The patent describes a device that uses a microwave emitter to create a high-frequency electromagnetic wave through a cavity and create a polarized vacuum. This polarized vacuum, in turn, reduces the mass of the weight of the vehicle or the containing of the device. It seems that the inventors propose the properties of high-energy electromagnetic field generation to interact strongly with the vacuum in an energy state. Sounds a lot like the first invention that came out way before this one got approved, and the guy disappeared, and he was never able to answer the patent office questions, so it got abandoned. And then miraculously, a few years later, the Navy pops up with the same exact description, and it's approved, and they own it. But it's made by their own scientists. You see? That's how it's working, guys. That's what's going on. So these people at the very top of the pyramid are suppressing, oppressing, holding back these advanced technologies. They are moving black budget monies at an unbelievable rate into projects, these black budget projects that have no congressional oversight, that are being run through private corporations so that we can't put in any FOIAs. A FOIA is a Freedom of Information Act request. We can't put that request in because they don't run them through the government anymore. They got smart. They said, you know what? We'll just give these contracts to private corporations, because then the general population cannot request to see what we did with the money. And then we'll just give them some really dumb excuse as to what happened to the money, and they'll just keep on living day by day, and they'll be mad for a split second, and then they'll forget all about it, because that's how they are. $17 trillion gone from the budget. Where's the money? Oh, we had a communications issue with our computer modem. Oh man, that sucks. I gotta go to work tomorrow. What am I gonna eat for lunch tomorrow? I think I'm gonna go to the club this weekend. And see, it's gone. And they just keep moving trillions and trillions of dollars into black budget projects and fund them and ship that money into private corporations. And you worried about what you're going to eat for lunch tomorrow. And so they know they got you. They're like, man, these people are so dumb. They'll be mad for a split second. A split second. And then they're going to go back to being who they really are. This is what they think about us. I'm not saying that's true, but that's what they think about us. P74 says, I've been following you for years and respect you 1,000%. Mind if I have to ask you whatever happened to open sitting? Would I be open to sitting down with someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson? Of course, I would love to sit down with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I would love to sit down with Neil deGrasse. I love the guy. I don't agree with everything he says, and just like he doesn't agree with everything I say. Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't believe UFOs or aliens exist. You know, he doesn't believe that necessarily that we're living in a fractal hologram. He believes that we're living in a matrix, I believe, but I don't think I think he may think that we're living in base reality, like the very first reality that ever occurred or existed. And that's okay. You know, I think the guy is brilliant, and he has a lot of incredible knowledge, and I would love to sit down and talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I've actually asked Roderick Martin, who has one of our podcasts, I've asked him to try to contact Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku, and a few other people to see if I can get them on a podcast. Roderick was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get me in touch with Avi Loeb from MIT astrophysics department, and I had him on. I'm sorry, Harvard astrophysics department. I had him on my podcast. I love to talk to all these guys because they all have knowledge. We all have something to share. We will not ever all see eye to eye. That's impossible. But man, we have so much in common, and we have so much that we can vibe and have a great conversation. It would just be amazing to sit down and talk with the guy. So yeah, I would be open to it. You know, see, the difference between me and a lot of these other YouTube accounts that are out there, they want enemies. They literally pretend that there's real enemies out there. You know, Billy Carson made a video. I've got to talk about it and lure him in to debate me. That doesn't work, guys. I never will go. I'm never going to come debate you. I'm never going to come on your YouTube channel. I'm never going to mention your YouTube channel's name. I'm never going to say it. But you guys will always say my name. And you will always shout me out. And you always give me free promotions by talking about my books, talking about my documentary. You don't understand. MIT, a class in applied neuroscience. My certificate in applied neuroscience. What you learn in there is amazing. I love it when you guys do that stuff because guess what? It's free marketing for me. And I'm never going to give you any credit. I'm never going to shout you back out. And I'm never going to come on your platform and debate you. But these people think about me day and night, night and day. They go to sleep thinking about me. They wake up thinking about me. They take breaks from their job in the afternoon looking me up. They're listening to every single word I say on every single video clip and every single podcast. They're reading everything I've got. They're buying my books. They're doing everything. And I'm not even thinking about them. You see, that's the difference between me and these other people. There's not one YouTube video, Instagram video, Facebook video, TikTok video, where I'm ever trying to tear down someone else's ideas or concepts about whatever the heck it is they believe in and what they're trying to speak in their own truth. You'll never see it happening. You will never see Billy Carson go on anybody's post on any social media platform and comment against them with a negative comment. You'll just never see. I dare anyone to provide any evidence that I've ever gone on somebody's post on their own account and said, you stupid dummy, blah, 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 and this is garbage, and you're an idiot, and blah, 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 and come debate me and all. You'll never see it happen. You'll just never see that happen. You know why? Because I have something that's rare these days. It's called class. It's called tact. You see? It's something that's being lost in all these people's lives. It's being lost in these generations. I come from the streets. There's a street code. There's a code on the streets. You can't just do anything you want on these streets. You take that same mindset, you can apply that to business, you can apply that to social media, you can apply that to anything. Social life, anything. But you have to live by some type of code. But there's a lot of people out here that they're so desperate for attention and money, they don't have a code. They literally generate all of their peanuts, and I do mean they're only making peanuts. These people are so poor. The peanuts that they're getting, the little $300-400 YouTube check, from the little bit of controversy they can get by trying to clout chase and use other people's names. And they can't see that that's never going to make them any money, any real money. It might pay their light bill so they can have some heat for the rest of the winter. But they don't have the capability of understanding and seeing that you can actually become greater, better, and influence more people by being positive. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier in the beginning of this video tonight, even though we had a few glitches with my lagging and stuff. I hope it ain't lagging. It's lagging again. Let me fix it before I finish this thought. So it goes back to what I was talking about this at the beginning of this video. And what I was talking about was the fact that these secret societies decided to take the knowledge, the understanding of how to put information out and how to interact with people's minds. But they decided, instead of using it for positivity, self-empowerment, enlightenment, wisdom, and growth, they decided to take it and use it for darkness, fear, anxiety, anger, right? So that they can manipulate people. So what do? They go and they find anything they possibly can. I don't care what it is. They take some truth and they mix it with some lies. They take some information and they put a whole nother remix on it. And then they put it out there to manipulate the small amount of zealots that they've been able to acquire. The people that are addictive, chemically addicted to cortisol, chemically addicted to adrenaline rushes, looking for the next thing. The people that follow those accounts are people that most likely like to watch fights on Instagram, people getting beat up. They like to watch cars crashing and flying off the highway on social media feeds. They need that adrenaline rush. They need it. They thrive for it. They need it. So what happens is somebody comes along and provides an account that gives this negativity and challenges. And right away their hormones spike. And now they're getting high off of this connection with their hormones and this information. And now that person's got them. And while they're doing that, that person is getting them to pay them, either by the view that they're giving them or asking for Cash App donations in a live chat or asking for other donations, PayPal donations, whatever. And they're like, yeah. But they don't realize they just got reeled in. They got reeled in and they got pimped. Just like politicians, I call them polytricksters. How does Donald Trump and Joe Biden, how do they go about trying to get votes? Do they get on and start talking about self-empowerment and wisdom and teaching people? Do they get on and show love and how everyone should love everyone and how they should do this and do that and how we can come together and be great and all these kind of things? Do they start talking about how we can fix the problems and what ideas and solutions I think I might be able to come up with? And do they try to get people together and unite them and get them to begin to work together? No, they don't do that. They don't do that. What do politicians do? What do? They tell you what the other one is doing wrong. That's the campaign. The campaign is, look what he did, look what she did, look what they're doing, look what she did, look what he's doing, look what they did. That's the whole campaign. There's millions of dollars on these ads, millions, to tell you garbage, to make you hate somebody. They're mind pimping you, all of them, every single one of them. It's a mind pimp. You see? They don't come out and say, hey guys, let's talk about self-empowerment and how we can exceed where we are right now mentally and become better people. Let's talk about that. Let's have an open forum and talk about that. Let's talk about solutions to some of the problems that we're facing in some of our cities and how we may be able to work together. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. The campaign is attack, 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 attack. And then you run around attacking everyone. You don't like Trump, I hate you. You don't like Biden, I hate you. The people at the top of the pyramid are all good friends, and they're laughing at both sides. We look like clowns down here at the bottom of this pyramid. And I mean, when I say clowns, I'm talking about straight Barnum and Bailey circus. Wink, 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 wink. We look like clowns out here on these streets. All of us. Then you got the religious people. Who was the most involved people in politicians and polytricks? The most involved people in polytricks are religious people. And what does the Bible say about going after false idols? They ain't even read their own book. Going after false idols. Did you read that? Going after the false idols? Religion and polytricks don't mix. Worship them and back them and support them and pay them off. Idolatry. I can go back to your book now and slap it right in your face. Come on, man. You know who I vote for every 4 years? I vote for me. I get in the line. And don't say I don't do that, because you can go on my Instagram account, on Billy Carson Official Instagram, my personal Instagram account, and scroll down to the last election. You'll see a copy of my ballot on the Instagram account. I get to the front of that line, I take the blank ballot. And guess what I do? I write my name on the ballot. Boom. I put my name in the box. And when I walk out of there, I salute myself, because I am the president. And I believe that wholeheartedly. I am the president of myself and my family, period. That office and that white building and all them, I don't give a damn about them people. I can care less. I can care less what laws they make, what rules they make, what they do, what they take away, what they give back. I don't care. At the end of the day, there's one thing you need to know. They always leave the loopholes. They always leave what they call Easter eggs. Just like in a video game, they got Easter eggs in video games these kids play, the shortcuts. They always leave them. Like Trump said when Hillary Clinton said, you don't pay taxes. He said, well, you didn't change the tax code. I'm just following the tax code. The tax code that most people don't even know exists. He knows. It's an Easter egg. That's why he doesn't have to pay taxes. There's always an Easter egg. They'll make the craziest laws. They'll give you the illusion that they've taken away so many of your abilities and freedoms. But beneath all of that jargon, there's Easter eggs. You got to follow the breadcrumbs. See, that's why I wrote this book. This book, Woke Doesn't Mean Broke. It's a financial Bible. $688 pages of Easter eggs. That's why this book is a bestseller in 4 countries. Woke Doesn't Mean Broke, bestseller in 4 countries. Because I ain't playing no games on these streets. You guys can keep playing games. I'm not playing any games. You can keep running and chasing after these clowns and these people and believing in all this stuff, all the rhetoric they're giving you, all the dogma they're giving you. I'm not doing it. Somebody's asking a question here. Is there a possibility that we've already perfected hydrogen technology for energy production and transportation? Yes, it's already been perfected. Rolls-Royce has already developed a hydrogen jet engine that can fly from coast to coast. It's already flown. And that's not even the first jet engine ever developed by a private corporation to fly a jet on hydrogen. It's not even the first. It's even been done in Russia. 30 years ago. Everything is going to move into hydrogen. Not everything. A lot of vehicle transportation is going to move into hydrogen. Aerospace transportation will move to hydrogen. You'll still see electric vehicles moving around with mostly for corporate reasons. Amazon deliveries, robotic cars that drive with no humans to drop off pizza at your house, things like that. Things that are just local movements. Okay, but you don't want to have an electric car when you got to go. I live in the bottom of Florida, close to Miami. They close the airport, you can't fly out. What do you got to do? You have to drive out. Do you think I can go from Miami all the way to Atlanta, Georgia without having to recharge an electric car? No. I'd be stuck somewhere around Port St. Lucie or Melbourne. I'll be stuck. I'll be trapped, waiting for a recharge for hours, maybe days, maybe never. Because 300 miles means you got to go 150 in one direction, but you better turn your ass around and go back and charge up again somewhere. You really can't travel 300 straight miles unless you know for sure there's a plug just waiting for you. Highly unlikely. That's one of the biggest reasons why EVs are going to go bye-bye. Not to mention they're toxic for the environment, more toxic than an engine block that runs on oil. Also, forced child labor in Africa for the cobalt and lithium. It only takes one militia to take over a couple of those cobalt mines, a couple of those lithium mines, and hold the whole world hostage. And the price of everything that uses cobalt and lithium is going to skyrocket. They know this. It's only a matter of time before that happens. Remember, I told you about it on this day. When it happens, you'll be like, damn, he said that. Yeah, I did. All right. I did. So anyway, real quick, we talked about Egypt earlier. I'm going to drop the link back in here one more time. If you want to go to Egypt with me, it's going to be an amazing trip to Egypt, an amazing trip, the Forbidden Tour of Egypt. All right. That's this year in October. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a mind-blowing trip. It's going to be amazing. Let me talk to you a little bit about the TR-3B. There's another device that's out there that's military-owned. That's an actual aerospace technology vehicle that flies. It flies silently. It's called a TR-3B. All right. It is what has been blamed. It's been blamed for being a UFO quite a bit, but it's not a UFO. This is an actual image of it. And I know this image is real because I talked about it in a show called American Mystery on the Travel Channel. And this is actually from a video clip, but that's a real image of a TR-3B. It is a flying triangle with a rotating disc at the bottom. Okay? What's inside of that rotating disc? Well, in that flying triangle, you have a torus. In the bottom of that flying triangle, there is a rotating centrifuge. And inside of that is a ferrofluid, liquid metal, most likely mercury. So when you put mercury inside of a centrifuge and you can get it moving at a high rate of speed, an RPM of about 60,000 RPMs, and then you pressurize the torus that it's inside of and electrify the torus, all of a sudden you get something interesting. You get an incredible electromagnetic field, like what was talked about in those previous patents. That field will actually encompass the entire vehicle. It'll be like a bubble, an electromagnetic bubble that displaces the vacuum. And all of a sudden, everything inside that bubble is immune to the normal effects of gravity. So we're talking about a ferrofluid vortex engine, the same exact kind that was used in the ancient Indian text known as the Vedas and the Mahabharata. They also talk about it in a few other ancient texts that come out of that region of the planet India. They talk about these Vimanas, Vimanaka Shastra, and these flying vehicles that can fly silently across the land and through the sky. They can even take a complement of men to another planet, according to the ancient text, written thousands of years ago. They talk about using mercury in their engine. Do you think that's a coincidence? And this is something that anyone can look up. Just, you got Google, you got your AI phones now. Just look it up. They even left behind flight plans, and they even left behind the actual blueprint for one of these devices. They were discovered long time ago. Well-known, well-documented mainstream knowledge of these VIMANAs. They start with a V, VIMANA. Ironically, these flying triangles known as TR3Bs use the same exact technology. They cracked the code on the VIMANA and they reproduced it. It flies silently. It flies extremely fast. It can make incredible, sharp 90-degree turns in the sky with no G-forces disturbing the pilot. And they've been mistaken for UFOs quite a bit, or now they're calling them UAPs, okay? But they're flying triangles. And we have those. They've had those, all right? They're real. And what are they? I call them ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles. They've taken ancient texts and they've analyzed them, and they've went and did R&D, research and development, until they cracked the code and reproduced it. That's what they've done. And we're still out here driving combustion engines, all right? Luis Rodriguez, I think that might be my friend Luis from back in the day. Maybe, I don't know. Is that what they're trying to do with the Philadelphia experiment military boat? In the Philadelphia experiment military boat, what they were doing was they created an electromagnetic field for cloaking purposes. They discovered that with the right amount of energy going into an electromagnetic field, you can actually create a cloaking of an actual vessel. So they were able to make the vessel disappear. What they didn't realize was that in a weird way, they were cracking or breaking open the space-time continuum at the same time. They were making a rip in space-time with the amount of power they put into that field. And because of that, there were some really crazy things that happened. When the boat reappeared far away, some of the actual soldiers on that ship were fused into the hull. Their bodies were fused in the hull. And this is well documented. It's been on many science shows and mystery shows. And so